I've been improving my communication skills and working on building my dream social life for almost 4 years now. And at that time, I went from a pretty anxious, introverted guy to someone who lives a decently social life and socializes easily. And through these last 4 years, one of the major things which I've also been studying and trying to improve myself at is speaking to girls, right? Learning those magical few words or that magical body language or that strategy that we all think we're gonna find on YouTube or through a book, which will achieve for us the ability to attract any girl and to get any girl, to turn any girl into a girlfriend, to make out like have like 7 girlfriends and be like Andrew Tate. And one of the main things that I've learned through the last few years, and mostly through the last year, which is when I've really started cold approaching tons of girls, and which is where I've gotten this number that you're seeing in the title, which is like in the 90s. I don't know, it's probably, I made a cold approach a few more girls before I upload this video, but that's the number of girls that I've approached in the last year. And the last year is when I've made most kind of progress with speaking to girls and learned the most things. And out of all of those things, there is only one which I would actually deem, which I would actually title as being valuable, as being something that once you finish watching this video and you go and implement it, will actually get you girls. Unlike most of the information that you'll read from books and watch from YouTube videos, this piece of information, I truly believe, is the only one you need and probably the only one which can get you to improve your game, to improve your pickup, to become better at picking up girls and speaking to them in general. And so one quote, which kind of perfectly I feel like describes what I've learned in this last year, is this. There was this boxer, maybe it was Mike Tyson, I don't remember which one it was, but there was this quote for boxing, which was, any strategy, any tactic, any plan that you might have had going into a boxing match gets forgotten the moment you get punched in the nose. The moment you get punched in the nose and the reality hits you that you're gonna fight, any strategy, any plan gets forgotten like instantaneously. What I learned last year is that this is very similar to what happens when you're speaking to girls. We spend a lot of times, this is something that I'm guilty of as well, spending hundreds of hours watching YouTube videos and reading books on game, on picking up girls, on, becoming like a player and everything, right? And there were hundreds of different tips and strategies and body language and things to say that I've learned. And over the last close to 100 interactions that I've had with girls, I don't think I've had a single interaction where I've genuinely, those tactics and strategies have genuinely worked for the entire kind of thing. What I mean by this is that strategies and tactics that you might see in any usual YouTube video, like when you're speaking to the girl, be mysterious and make eye contact in this way. These are things which might help you for 10% of the interaction, right? They might only help out like 10%. They might only increase your chance of taking the girl home or, getting her Instagram or whatever by 10%. All of these tactics and strategies and whatever. But 90%, the rest of the 90%, which includes speaking to her and knowing how to kiss her, knowing how to do escalate and knowing how to do whatever, the rest of the 90% you cannot learn through books, videos, courses, calls, whatever. The only way to learn it is through experience. But just going and speaking to as many girls as you possibly can. Because here's just an absolute like kind of objective truth which I've learned. Game, right? And the meta, right? Most effective tactic available, like in video games, changes constantly. And it changes depending on where you live, who you're surrounded with, who you hang out with, what your life looks like. You can watch a lot of these videos, which teach you tons of strategies, tactics, but those are videos made by guys who live different lives than you, who are different age than you, who look differently than you, who physically appear different, who look different than you. Maybe they're more attractive, maybe they're less attractive, maybe they live in a different country. And the tactics that they might pose, like telling you go to the club and then dance to a girl, dance with a girl in this way, and speak to her in that way, and tell her to do this and that, might work for them. But it probably, most likely, will not work for you in your current situation. Because the fact of the matter is, sure, there are a few fundamental tactics, fundamental things which, okay, are undeniable, and wherever you are, wherever you live, they are useful. Stuff like always be funny when speaking to a girl, try to be funny, always be relaxed, don't be like overly invested. These are like fundamental things which, yeah, they help you. But 99% of the rest of the stuff that you learn, you can't really use. And even if you can, as I said, it only equates to around 10% of the actual interaction with the girl. Because there's gonna be lots of these kind of things, kind of expressions, and kind of ways of acting and doing things, and things which you're gonna have to do and which you're going to do based on the situation. And that's something that you're just gonna be able to feel out once you've had enough experience, and it's not something that can be explained to you through a video like this. What you need to do practically is to just go and speak to as many girls as possible. Cold approach girls on the street, ask them for their Instagram, ask them to go get a cup of coffee, then ask them to go, then try to kiss them, then try to take them home, to do all of these things. And keep in mind that at least the first 10, 20, 30 times, you're going to embarrass the shit out of yourself. You're gonna make a fool out of yourself. People are gonna make fun of you. Girls are probably gonna laugh at you on the street, like, especially if you live in a small town. If you live in a big town, this is no big deal. But if you live in a small town, and you embarrass yourself once or two times or a few times, you're gonna be seeing people making fun of you on the street, like, oh, there's the guy who made a fool of himself, who tried to kiss that girl, but then she slapped him, whatever. There's gonna be tons of people who are gonna be bullying you. You're gonna embarrass yourself a lot. You're gonna be making tons of mistakes. But this is something that's inevitable. There are only two types of people on the face of the planet, right? If we're talking about guys who get girls. There's guys who embarrass themselves fully when they were starting out, and there's liars. There is not a single guy out there who has girls, who's good with girls, who knows how to speak to them, who has not embarrassed himself at least a dozen times in his life when he was starting out. Because that is the only way, and I repeat, the only way that you can improve at speaking to girls is to go, speak to them, embarrass yourself the first like 10, 20, 30, 50 times until eventually something just clicks and you realize, oh, this is what I should say, this is how I should act, this is where I should take her, this is what I should do, this is what I should wear. And these are things which are going to be unique to you, unique to your situation, unique to your way of thinking, to your town, to the people who you're around, to the girls who you're attracted to. And this is something that you will not find in any YouTube video, in any book, course, whatever. Watching this kind of content feels great because there's no anxiety, there's no fear. You just sit down, you watch some dude on the internet, give you some tips, and you feel productive. You feel like, yeah, I'm learning stuff. This is productive. But then you go out and you speak to a girl and you end up asking her what brand her microwave is. You need to do the uncomfortable thing. And that is going out with the knowledge and the mindset that you're going to embarrass yourself the first time, and the second time, and third, and fourth, and fifth, and 10th, and 20th time. Because the 21st time when you go out and you speak to a girl and you go on a date with her, you're going to kiss her. Maybe you're going to take her home. Or maybe that's going to become your long-term girlfriend. But that situation and that outcome is waiting for you on the other side of 10, 20, 30, 50, 100 embarrassing, foolish, stupid outcomes. And that is the biggest thing that I've learned in the last year, in the last 3 years, in the last almost 100 cold approaches that I've done, and the 100 girls that I've spoken to, and the Instagram that I've gotten, and the texting, and the dates, and everything. It is that the only way to improve, the only way to start getting girls is to just go and speak to them. Make a fool out of yourself a good few times in the start, a good few times. Realize that you are going to probably get bullied. People are going to make fun of you. You're going to look like an absolute fool. But just adopt the mindset that you don't care. Everyone who bullies you eventually is gonna forget about it. All of the girls who you've said something embarrassing to are eventually gonna forget about it because there's dozens of other guys texting them anyway who are also as dumb as you. And eventually, when everybody forgets, and everyone stops bullying you, and all of the girls who you embarrassed yourself forget about the fact that you embarrassed yourself in front of them, the only thing that's gonna be left, the only thing that anyone is gonna be able to see, is the version of you who gets girls, who speaks to girls constantly, who gets girls, who has a beautiful girlfriend, or just goes to parties and gets laid all the time. The absolute, like, player, pickup artist version of yourself that you want to achieve. That is the only thing that's going to be remaining on the other side of this, like, boot camp of embarrassment and hardships and anxiety and discomfort and just cold approaches of girls. So your action step is going to be to stop watching this video. It's going to be to stop reading the book that you're reading on pickup artist or pickup artistry. It's going to be to drop out of any courses that you may be on with cold approaching girls, to go to the town tonight, or the club, or the cafe, and the first girl you see on the street who's kind of attractive, just walk up to her and ask, could I get your Instagram? Or say, I like you, can I get your number? Don't overcomplicate it, don't try to get a pickup line, just walk up, clean and simple. Hello, can I get your Instagram? This was the pickup line that I used on most of these girls, and it's the one that got me the most Instagrams. They got me to get the most approaches, because anytime I would try to get a pickup line, I would chicken out. Because now I'm thinking, oh, what's the pickup line that's appropriate for this situation, blah, 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 and then the opportunity passes. You turn off your brain, hello, I think you're cute, could I get your Instagram? That's all you ask. You do it every single day. You make a fool out of yourself a good few times, and before you realize it, you know how to speak to girls. And once you get that, that's when you can get girlfriends, girls, go to parties, be the man, and finally enjoy like the fruits of your labor. If you want to improve your communication skills further and you want to learn more on this topic, you can check out the first link in the description. It will take you to my community, free community, where you and I could hop on a free call, and I could give you some more information if you want. You can also check out other things which come with the community, the course that I have, as well as coaching. You can check it all out. You can check it all out. First link in the description. If you found this video helpful, I think you'll find a lot of value in this video. Click on the subscribe button and do the work.